Hey guys, I've been noticing meme generators the CIA PsyOps media has used in the last 6 months to try to take Donald Trump down. The list is a hoot.
What do you mean by the CIA PsyOps media?
Well, really all of the American media, and in the last 6 weeks they were joined by the world media, and even heads of state, hauling water for the CIA media. Even Russian TV has repeated CNN, and Fox, and the rest. It is really quite amazing. I think the only exception was Vladimir Putin's compliments about Trump, where he called Trump brilliant. I got the idea from Sundance at Conservative Treehouse. He listed the first 100 days. Trog on Liberty's Thunder, which airs on Blog Talk Radio, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays, read Sundance's list in September, and I rolled laughing. Here is Trog reading the list of the first 100 days.
Whoever this Sundance is brilliant. He won't run. He's not serious. He has funny hair. We hate funny hair. Bankruptcy. Oh no! Pretend it's not legal. Okay. He won't file his candidacy papers. He never held public office. He can't win. He won't connect with the voters. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to Univision. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to NASCAR. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to Macy's. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to ESPN. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to McCain. He's finished if he doesn't apologize on demand. He'll never poll well. He's finished. He'll never lead in the polls. He's finished. He'll never follow his financials. He's finished. He's offended all veterans. He's finished. He thinks blah, blah, blah. Some contrived bizarre crap about breastfeeding. What the hell? Remember the attorney that wanted to breastfeed her baby in front of him in a conference? He's against amnesty. He's finished. He's for amnesty. He's finished. Just scream amnesty. It'll dazzle everyone. He doesn't really want to be president. He's finished. He said stuff about blood. Oh, my God. He's finished. He'll be exposed in the debates and fail miserable. He's finished. Frank Luntz Trump has collapsed. He's finished. Red State claims he won't make it to Iowa. He's finished. George Will says Trump can't sit down to tea and talk to voters. He's finished. He's offended all women. He's finished. He's just a carnival barker. He's finished. He won't last. He's done after tomorrow, next week, next month. He can't defeat Bush. He's finished. He can't beat Hillary. It's already been decided. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to Megyn Kelly. He falsely claimed he's Batman. He's finished. He insulted Mexicans again by beating up poor George Ramos. He's finished. He's not a real conservative in Spanish. He's finished. He won't sign the pledge. He's a jerk. He's finished. He did sign the pledge. He's a jerk. He's finished. He thinks candidates should speak English. Oh, my God, the horror. He's finished. He failed the Hugh Hewitt trivia question of crap. He's finished. Foreign policy is much more important than immigration. Trump is finished. His 5-second comment on Syrian refugees, detailed amnesty policy. He's finished. He joked about Carly's face. Oh, my God, he's finished. He won't apologize to Carly. He's finished. He won't apologize to Carson. He's finished. He can't win without evangelicals. He's finished. Bobby Jindal called him names. He's finished. Ben Carson questions Trump's faith. He's finished. The country wants a minister, not a CEO. He's finished. Scott Walker drops out. This is bad for Trump. He's finished. Greg Gutfield thinks Trump is a clown. He's finished. His poll numbers are down. He's still in the lead. He's finished. Trump won't give us details. He's finished. Trump releases Second Amendment policy detail. Ignore it. He's finished. He's finished if he doesn't apologize to all Muslims. Carly won the debate. His poll numbers are down. He's finished. Trump fatigue is upon the electoral. He's finished. Some random dude said Obama is a Muslim. It's Trump's fault. He's finished. Trump must apologize for random Obama is a Muslim dude. He's finished if he won't apologize to Jeb's wife. Do you get it yet? I did that one breath.
Isn't that a hoot?
I got a few to add, like, for instance, he hasn't put his tax plan to paper. He's a jerk. He's finished. He put his tax plan to paper. He's a jerk. He's finished. Most economists really love his tax plan. He's finished. His tax plan gambles on creating a vibrant economy. He's finished.
Well, that is really funny. Okay, here are a few more. Let's see how many we can come up with.
Okay, but they have to be real. I mean actual things the CIA media has said, as they have been trying to drive Trump's poll numbers down.
Okay. I've got a few. Marco Rubio has found Trump's Death Star weakness, his vanity, and personal insecurity. He's finished. Trump says, "Let Russia battle ISIS, why do we have to do everything?" He's finished. Remember they said, trying to stop Trump from exposing the crimes of illegal aliens. If someone beats up an illegal alien, he's finished. If someone attacks a mosque in America, he's finished.
Oh yeah. And Rubio won't participate in Trump's freak show, he's finished. Rand Paul called Trump a clown, he's finished. Jeb Bush tells Trump he needs to put on his big boy pants, he's finished. The loser, Mitt Romney says, Trump will not be the nominee, he's finished.
They accuse Trump of canceling the question and answer session. At least that is what the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce said. He's finished.
And Hillary Clinton mocks Trump on Saturday Night Live. He's finished. Contractors who contracted with Trump on his many hundreds of business projects employed illegal immigrants. He's finished.
On October 5, 2015, some pollster said that Trump's popularity had peaked. He's finished. You know they have used that over and over again, that Trump has peaked.
Yeah, it is really ridiculous. But the good thing is that they are exposing themselves for the CIAmerican Media. They truly are.
Here. Remember this one? Trump University, Donald Trump's real estate school, shut down following the economic and real estate crash of 2008. He's finished.
October 7, 2015, Donald Trump leading everyone, everywhere, by very large margins. Joe Scarborough says, with these numbers at the state, if it were anyone but Trump, the media and the party would be saying, game over. But it is obvious that Donald Trump is finished. As of October 7, 2015, Donald Trump leads in all the polls in every state and has spent much less money than all the other top candidates.
In fact, to that point he had not spent any money at all. Amazing. But it is grossly obvious that Donald Trump is finished. The question now is, how does he gracefully bow out of the game?
Well, how about Donald Trump and eminent domain? Now this is his real Achilles heel. He's finished. Megyn Kelly appears on the Charlie Rose show, sounding tail-tucked, and says she really does not want to feud with Donald Trump. That it hurts her, hurts Fox News, and hurts Donald Trump. The latter is true, of course. You can see how Donald is suffering. Obviously, he is finished.
Way back in the dark ages, Donald Trump did an interview for Playboy magazine. He's finished. Trump at the top of all the polls, so the New York Times says that Donald Trump is looking for an exit strategy. He's finished.
Do you remember that Jeb Bush plant at Trump's rally?
Yes, Lauren Batchelder. Jeb Bush plant asked snarky questions and acted snarky at John Huntsman's fake group called No Labels. Do you know what the real name of that group should be? The Mormon Republican Establishment Group. Donald Trump is finished.
Obama said that Trump will not win the nomination and is finished.
Donald Trump received nearly $4 million in unsolicited contributions in the third quarter, when he was supposed to be self-funding. Do you remember them calling him a hypocrite and claimed then that he was finished?
What a hoot. But Trump forced CNBC to change their format, giving them opening and closing statements, and he made them keep the debate length to 2 hours instead of 3 hours. Of course that's it, Trump is finished.
Then Trump mentions that 9/11 happened on President Bush's watch. How dare he? He is finished. Then right after that, Secretary of State John the Perjurer Kerry said that Donald Trump is not qualified to be president because he does not believe in global warming. That's it. Trump is finished.
October 21, 2015, it's official. Trump was way ahead in the polls for 100 days running. And ahead in every state and national poll by a lot. And of course more than ever, it was obvious that he was finished.
Carl Icahn launched a super PAC to support Donald Trump, with $150 million, biggest one-time injection ever. Now Trump is certainly finished. Carl Icahn said that his super PAC was not to support Trump, but to educate people about corporate inversion. Trump is finished.
Two very thin, suspect polls in Iowa, later proved to be fake, said that Trump was trailing Ben Carson. This is to be it. This time for sure. He's finished.
October 26, 2015, Jeb Bush says that he has lots of cool things to do. That if you want Trump, Well, vote for him. Oh my God, Trump is really finished now.
October 28, 2015. Trump wins the CNBC debate according to all the large post-debate polls. RT America describes the debate as Trump's last stand. Oh no. Trump is finished.
November 4, 2015. All the media is constantly calling Ben Carson the frontrunner and claiming that Trump is trailing Carson now. He is really finished. But Trump makes SNL promo where he calls Ben Carson a total loser. Trump is finished.
Trump appears on Saturday Night Live and was funny. Trump is finished. Trump drew twice the audience as Hillary on SNL, a 4-year record audience. Trump is finished.
Then Ben Carson was caught in his plagiarizing scandal. Oh, never mind. Carson just did not understand the concept of plagiarism. Trump is finished. Ben Carson was caught lying about his association with Manatech. Trump is finished. Ben Carson caught sensationalizing his biography. Trump is finished.
Oh wait. Ben Carson tried to hit his mother with a hammer. Trump is finished.
Ben Carson tried to stab a friend, and they made a movie about it. Trump is finished.
Ben Carson chased people with bricks and baseball bats. Trump is finished.
At the debate, Ted Cruz can't name the departments of government he plans to close, just like Rick Perry in 2012. Trump is finished.
Carly Fiorina said she met Putin in a green room. Trump is finished. Carly Fiorina said she did not meet Putin in a green room. Trump is finished.
Yes, and Trump complains about Carly Fiorina constantly interrupting others during the debate. Trump is a son of a bitch. He is finished. Trump was polite and deferential at the debate. Trump is a son of a bitch. He is finished.
November 11, 2015. New York Times delivers slobbering wet kiss to Trump on debate day. Trump is finished.
Some reporter claims that Donald Trump called for a database to track Muslims in the U.S. Trump is finished.
Some Black Lives Matter provocateur got roughed up at a Trump rally for acting like an ass. That's it. Trump is finished.
Liz Mayer, the former online communications director of the Republican National Committee, has started a PAC so that the RNC could secretly try to sink Trump. He is finished.
Trump says Black Lives Matter guy was acting nasty and deserved to be roughed up. Damn, way to go, Don. I mean, well, you know. Trump is finished.
Trump said that Muslims in New Jersey cheered the destruction of the Twin Towers on 9/11. I saw the same raw footage he did that day. They did cheer and celebrate. But still it has to mean that Trump is finished.
A black homosexual commentator for the Washington Post says that Donald Trump is destroying America and that people who support him are deviants. That's it. Trump is finished. After all, who really wants to be labeled by a black homosexual commentator as a deviant?
Virginia historians say that Trump has mislabeled part of one of his golf courses on the Potomac River as a historic battleground. How could such a thing happen? Mr. Trump, have you no conscience? Have you no decency? Trump is finished.
The Boston Globe says that the GOP establishment is frightened that Donald Trump will tarnish their image. After falling on the floor with laughter, I have to say, obviously this is it. Now, Trump is finished.
Donald Trump mocks a lying spastic ex-New York Times reporter, who retracted his own 14-year-old story about Muslims in New Jersey celebrating on 9/11, because the story proved Trump right. Oh my God. A spastic reporter. Trump is finished. Donald Trump didn't mock this lying Washington Post/New York Times reporter, Serge F. Kovaleski, because he is a spastic. He mocked him because he is a lying spastic. This lying spastic claims that he does not remember writing the story about witnessing the Muslims celebrating in New Jersey on 9/11. You don't forget such a thing, you just don't. But still, Donald J. Trump is finished.
Do you remember all the BS about whether or not Trump had met that reporter? It was stupid. They took a split-second gesture Trump made and played it in slow motion over and over again.
Okay, then in Sarasota, Florida, Trump had to give 2 speeches because the venue was for 5,000 people and 12 to 15,000 people showed up. So Trump gave 2 speeches. Obviously this is just another symptom of Trump's failing campaign. He's finished.
Nicole Wallace accuses Trump supporters of sinister sentiments. Oh my God. Surely he's finished now.
Following the Muslim Jihad attack in San Bernardino killing 14 and wounding many more, Obama said, "Surrender your arms so I can protect you." Trump said, "Arm yourselves, take responsibility for your own safety. You are the first line of defense against these jihadists." It is clear that Trump is insane. He's finished.
December 2nd, 2015. Trump still dominating all the polls. Sure sign that he has plateaued. This happens mere days before an implosion, when Trump will be finished.
December 7, 2015. Oh my God. Can't he just shut up? Donald Trump says that since we are facing an Islamic Jihad insurgency, as evidenced by the events of San Bernardino, we need to halt Muslim immigration until we understand what we are dealing with. This is it. Trump is finished.
This was the morning that Donald J. Trump won the presidency. On January 5, 2016 you will call me foolish, but on the same date next year you will call me a prophet. Frankly, I don't remember the exact date, and it is not important. It was the morning after Donald J. Trump proposed a ban on Muslim immigration into the U.S. until the powers that be gained a handle on the danger of such immigration. Seems like a common sense idea to me.
Especially after the Paris and San Bernardino Muslim Jihad massacres. Of course, it is common sense, in the face of potential mass migration of people who are unknown to us, people who do not have a documented history, many of whom could be Muslim Jihad insurgents.
But anathema to the cultural Marxists. Frankly, the CIA thought they had Trump.
They were going to bury him in politically correct sentimentality.
And they summoned their very best PSYOPs agents to take Trump down. It did not go exactly as they planned.
And I'll start out here by saying I'm not blind to the emotions that you're tapping into, but I also think there's a number of Americans that you're really scaring right now, including me.
Wow. Did you hear that? That was Mika Brzezinski trying to sound like a frightened virgin, adding extra e's to the personal pronoun me. Who is Mika Brzezinski, but the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who talked about the ease of killing a million people.
Namely, in earlier times, it was easier to control a million people, literally. It was easier to control a million people than physically to kill a million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill a million people than to control.
Wow. Can you tell me why Donald J. Trump's words stirred more fear in Mika than the truly creepy words of her own father?
And I'll start out here by saying I'm not blind to the emotions that you're tapping into, but I also think there's a number of Americans that you're really scaring right now, including me. I'm worried this is rhetoric that is fueling hatred and alienation and possibly something worse.
Do you realize that Mika Brzezinski just offered the standard cultural Marxist psychological ploy called heightened contradictions? Heightened contradictions requires, always, the suspension of common sense. That is the betrayal of common sense, for the sake of a sentimental emotional feeling. Like being challenged to hug a beautiful, lovable grizzly bear. It is called pathological altruism and gives one the feeling of unearned righteousness.
Well, back to the list of memes. Attorney General Loretta Lynch cautions that she will pursue prosecution of people who tell the truth about Muslims. Trump is finished and may be prosecuted.
December 8, 2015. Chris Christie says that Donald Trump's statement about halting Muslim immigration demonstrates what you get when you are dealing with someone without governing experience. But that has to mean he is finished. Right?
Of course, that is exactly what it means. Obama and other globalist puppets scream that Donald Trump is unqualified to be president. Trump is finished.
Petition to ban Trump from UK passes 300,000 signatures, could be debated in Parliament. For sure Trump is finished now.
All Republican candidates scream that Trump's immigration ban is not constitutional. All legal experts prove them wrong. Trump is over. Toast.
Smell the burn. But the 1952 immigration statute, which is current law, states that the president has the power to block Muslims from entering the country. Trump is finished.
Rand Paul backpedals and says that Trump is right on jihadi immigration. Now Trump is really finished. Ted Cruz backpedals and offers legislation in the Senate very similar to Trump's proposal. Issue or sign Trump is finished.
Just like I stated in July of 2015, that the last resort to stump Trump would be to try to brand him as a new Adolf Hitler, and his supporters as 21st century brown shirts, Nazis and fascists. Surely Trump is finished now?
The fact that Trump is drawing crowds in the thousands and tens of thousands is the most obvious sign that he is finished. It is just a matter of time.
Check out these stats from the middle of December. It is amazing. Trump's media mentions in the 3 days before his "Stop the flow of Muslims into the country until we figure out what is broken." 19,364 media mentions before comments, 64,638 media mentions after the ban, them comments and all the other candidates only garnered 2,566 mentions combined.
Wow, light a fire. Because Trump is toast.
Courtesy of Chris Anonymous. Tracking 236 polls from 33 pollsters December 13, 2015. This is the record of advertisement money spent by the candidates so far. Look at it, it cost Lindsey Graham almost $3 million to be zero in the polls. Bush's 5% cost $33 million. Trump's 35% cost less than $250,000. Nothing like this has ever happened before in politics. Those Trump deniers who try to compare Trump to Ross Perot, and Herman Cain, and the like, refuse to look at the facts. There is no similarity whatsoever. Here is the breakdown. Trump, 34.5%, spent $216,000. Cruz, 14.4%, spent $850,000, not to mention the tens of millions his super PACs have spent. Rubio, 12.6%, spent $13.1 million. Carson, 11.7%, spent $2.4 million. Bush, 5.2%, spent $32.5 million. And now as of January, he is down to 3%, and it has cost him almost $60 million. Fiorina, 2.5%, spent $1 million, plus millions by other super PACs while the establishment was trying to prop her up. Rand Paul, 2.4%, spent $1 million, plus millions via his 3 super PACs. Chris Christie, 3.1%, spent $7 million. Kasich, 2.2%, spent $8.4 million. Graham, 0.0%, spent $2.7 million. Well, of course it is obvious, very, very obvious that Trump is finished.
Thousands and tens of thousands turning out for Donald Trump rallies. The other candidates are drawing crowds in the tens of ones. A sure sign that Trump is finished. Besides, Jeb Bush assured us that Trump would be sinking before the next debate in mid-December. He'll be finished, or at least on his way out by then. Oh God, no. It can't be. December 10, 2015. Oh, but we have 5 days to turn this thing around so that Jeb Bush doesn't look like a total buffoon. Of course Trump is finished. These polls and huge crowds, that is just smoke and mirrors, all in your mind. Go back to sleep. Trump is finished. Trump is finished. Trump is finished.
Then, Jeb Bush said that we must temporarily halt Muslim immigration. Trump is finished.
Friday evening, December 11, 2015, the Climate Change Politburo signed the CC agreement. Obama gave a 2-minute speech carried only on cable news and not reported in the news media since, straddling the American people with another $100 billion a year in debt. This of course means Trump is finished.
Sunday, December 13, 2015, the news coverage turns grim. Have you noticed that suddenly the media has moved to grim mode? Facial expressions and sighs and pained looks usually saved for the war mode the media uses just before the bombs start falling. The hysterical anger and vulgar bashing of Trump has turned into grim fear-mongering. So now it is Donald the dangerous, Trump the potential tyrant. Surely, people will come to sanity and dump Trump.
That was when they were playing the "Can this megalomaniacal egotistical madman be trusted with the nuclear button?" Too funny.
2 suspect polls just before the debate say that Ted Cruz surged 21 points in a week in Iowa. This is it, Trump is finished. Wait. Aren't these the same polls that showed Ben Carson was surging in Iowa just before the last debate? Either way, Trump is finished.
Yeah. More fake polls.
Ted Cruz was exposed lying like a dog, caught on tape saying one thing in private to his billionaire bosses, and lying about it, denying it on national TV. Let us not kid ourselves. Ted Cruz being a hypocrite means Trump is finished.
That's right, of course. Now get this one. It was discovered that Marco Rubio's close relative is a drug smuggler. Trump is finished. Chuck Todd, CNN, says that he was raised in the same area as Marco Rubio and everyone's best friend or family member was a drug smuggler. I shit you not, Chuck Todd actually said it December 14, 2015 on CNN between 6 and 7 a.m. The exact quote was, "If you grew up in Miami you have a friend, or you have a relative caught up in it," end quote. That is drug smuggling, and of course he means, Trump is finished.
The national polls show that Donald Trump will easily beat Hillary Clinton. But that will all change after the debate. Trump is finished.
Slugs turn up some not so flattering pictures of our First Lady. I mean, the wife of the loser Donald Trump. He is finished now. Just wait till the evangelicals see this. Trump leading in all the polls with evangelicals, except the two fake ones in Iowa. He is finished.
People are coming to realize that the election is not between the left versus the right, Republican versus Democrat, but between all the puppets of the globalists, versus an America First nationalist, Donald J. Trump, who is finished.
I would say that Donald Trump is mounting a counter-revolution. He is running against the globalist elite that own the Republican and Democrat parties, and own the media that own all the spin doctors. He is running against the establishment that controls the 6 corporations that own the TV and radio media, all of the major newspapers, and most of the small so-called independent newspapers, and 99% of the publishing houses, the elite that own and control the Federal Reserve, and all the Western central banks that have held our economy hostage to their New World Order agenda, that have literally plunged our nation into generational debt to finance their world conquest agenda while robbing us of constitutional governance, and relegating our children and grandchildren to debt slavery in a quasi-Marxist poverty state. Trump is finished.
Michael, you were absolutely right. This election is between Donald Trump versus the globalist criminals that control every aspect of our government, every quasi-non-governmental organization financed by the shadow government that is pushing a globalist agenda, from the Rockefeller Foundation, and the likes of George Soros, UNESCO to USAID and the Clinton Foundation. Of course all this has to mean that Trump is finished.
December 14, 2015 two large national polls show Trump, in a field of 15 vote splitters, busting the 40% ceiling. With his closest also ran 27 points behind. The pundits keep talking about Trump having leveled out, having reached his ceiling. At this rate he will have leveled out about 55% by the time for the first primary. Of course this just makes it doubly obvious to all but the dullards among us that Trump is finished.
Vladimir Putin says that Donald J. Trump is brilliant. That he is a very colorful and talented man, no doubt about that. He is the absolute leader of the presidential race, as we see it today. He says that he wants to move to another level of relations, to a deeper level of relations with Russia. How can we not welcome that? Of course we welcome it. This of course means Donald Trump is finished. Trump said he appreciates Putin's kind words, and that he has always said that he thought he could get along with him and work with him to solve a lot of problems.
But, Ryan, Joe Scarborough said that Putin has invaded a lot of countries and kills journalists that disagree with him. Trump is finished. Trump tells Joe, we've killed a lot of people also, Joe, a lot of unnecessary killing. Oh my God, no he didn't. Trump is finished. Trump said, we killed people too. A lot of stupid things going on in the world, a lot of stupid killing.
But Michael, you have to remember that Joe is a neocon, in support of the project for the new American century. You remember PNAC's plan to destroy a bunch of countries to build the American empire. Joe has been itching for war with Russia for decades. Were the FSB to foment a coup in Ottawa, and install a puppet government like the CIA did in Kiev, what would be our reaction? My God, we have 1,400 military bases around the world and covert operations in almost every country on Earth. And Russia is the aggressor? Give me a break.
Trump refused to be rude by rejecting Putin's kind words. And I say good for him. Oh, I forgot, that means Trump is finished.
CNN claimed that Trump and Putin have a bromance. Trump is finished.
A what?
A bro-mance. Like a male-to-male romance.
Oh. I'm old. What can I say?
Meanwhile, Jeb Bush threatens Donald Trump's life at the December 15, 2015 CNN debate. Like a mafia don, Jeb said, "You will never be president of the United States. Trump is really finished now."
Did you know that CNN edited out Jeb Bush's threat when they replayed the debate on the 18th and 19th?
More cover-up. That means Trump is finished.
I don't think that any statement in politics ever drew such a quick and hot anger in me than a member of the globalist Bush-Clinton crime family, Jeb Bush, saying to Mr. Trump's face, "You will never be president of the United States." Trump's response was classic. "Yes, that is why I'm at 43 and you're at 3. If Jeb were just a candidate for president and speaking out of petulance, that would be one thing, but when a member of the Bush-Clinton mafia says that, to your face, that is a death threat. If you think I'm kidding, you don't have a clue about the history, and it is just as bloody on the Bush side as it is on the Clinton side. It is odd that people on the left take the time to learn the Bush family criminal history, and ignore the Clintons. And the people on the right know the Clinton criminal history, and ignore the Bushes. That is how they get away with all the bullshit. How about we all outgrow the right, left, feedlots into which these mafia, Nazi crime families have herded us? Jeb made the statement twice in the December 15, 2015 CNN debate. The first time was in context saying, "You can't insult your way into the presidency. You will never be president." The second time, about an hour later, there was no qualifier on it. It was a direct threat: "You will never be president of the United States." CNN replayed the debate again on 12/18 and 12/19 late night, and on these replays they edited out the direct threat and spliced in the previous exchange, so you have the exact same exchange, exact same gestures repeated an hour apart. Amazing. Tell me the Bush/Clinton crime family is not protected. So I pray holy angels to surround our next president, Donald J. Trump, and that Satan will be exposed and confounded by his own plots. That any ill will and danger plotted against Trump would redound to them, and their children and grandchildren.
Wait just a minute now. How can it be? Trump won all the post-debate polls, all of them, and most in the 50 to 70% range, out of a field of 13. Well, I mean, Trump is finished. Trump continues to rise in the post-Putin, post-debate polls. Something's not right here, because Trump is finished.
Trump had only spent $217,000 on advertising his campaign. Trump is not a serious candidate, he is finished. Jeb Bush is a serious candidate and will probably be the GOP nominee, because he has spent almost $60 million in advertising. Jeb will bury Trump with cash. Trump is finished.
I don't know about that. The latest national poll shows Trump 42%, Jeb 3%. It is becoming more obvious every day that Trump is finished.
Well, Lindsey Graham dropped out of the race. The other candidates are feverishly seeking his endorsement. Well, not really. But still Trump is finished.
Trump chides Hillary Clinton for not having the strength and stamina to be president, which was highlighted when she was absent for part of the CNN Democrat debate, taking a potty break. Trump is finished.
CNN and others announce more fake polls, the week of Christmas. Trump is finished. Experts are saying it is most likely a two-man race, Trump versus Ted Cruz. But Trump is beating Cruz, out of a pact of 14, better than 2-1. Trump is finished.
Oh no, he did not. The nerve of this vulgarian. Trump doubles down on schlong. Veteran journalists backed him up. Remember, he said that Hillary Clinton was schlonged by Obama. Boy, they jumped on him, pretending as if he had let loose with an F-bomb. Think about it. In the past 6 months we have found out that virtually every espoused position of the conservative media was a total ruse. The Salem Media Group primarily among them. red state, Eric Erickson, now finds himself proclaiming that Jeb Bush is the most conservative governor he's ever known. Websites like Twitchy, Hot Air, Human Events, Michelle Mwakin, and National Review suddenly singing the praises of a Jeb Bush they formerly said was just another GOP establishment sellout. Jeb goes from villain to GOP hero faster than you can say Donald Trump. Conservative punditry like George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Stephen Hayes, Charles Lane, Rich Lowry, Jonah Goldberg, and many more opining on all media previously hid an open borders position. All of a sudden they are telling us walls will never work, illegal aliens are the bedrock of the U.S. social fabric, and it's profoundly unfair to even contemplate their deportation. Oh, the humanity. That's a serious dose of sunlight upon a previously hidden agenda. By the way, even Breitbart has reported false stories about Trump. Wow, what a ride.
Listen. Let's talk about Breitbart.com for a moment. The Cruz people were touting a Breitbart quote where he said good things about Ted Cruz when he was running for the Senate. Well, things have changed drastically since Andrew's untimely death. Notice, Andrew Breitbart is not channeling from the grave. He has been dead for 4 years, and a world of disclosures and events have happened since then. Think about it. That was before all the Edward Snowden disclosures and before Cruz offered up his fake legislation called the USA Freedom Act. That was a piece of PSYOP's propaganda for the CIA/NSA. That was before Ted Cruz sold out to his billionaires. Anything that Andrew Breitbart had to say was in a context of 20% of the knowledge we hold 4 years later. Those people who paid his widow for the rights to his brand name and the name Breitbart.com are now the mind behind the name. Who is that mind, who is now behind the Breitbart brand name? He is the open borders, globalist, hedge fund billionaire Robert Mercer. When you see the name Breitbart, you must erase from your mind Andrew, who was our hero, who we all loved, and replace it with the image of this man. This open borders, globalist, hedge fund billionaire Robert Mercer, who owns Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz was recently bragging about how much money he raised on the campaign trail, and it's true. He's raised the second most among the Republicans. Jeb Bush is number one, but Ted Cruz, of all people, unexpectedly number two. He raised $38 million already, and we're barely getting started. Jeez, Lord mercy. Now, he must have wide support in order to raise $38 million. So let's take a look at who he raised that money from. CNN tells us that $15 million came from the Wilkes brothers, Farris and Dan Wilkes, who made their fortune in Texas, where Ted Cruz is from, doing fracking. And then another $11 million came in from Robert Mercer, who's a hedge fund manager out of New York. And then finally, another $10 million came from another incredibly wealthy gentleman from Texas, Toby Neugebauer. Okay, I did the quick math on that. That's 36 out of the $38 million. So from 4 people, he raised 36 out of the $38 million that he raised. See, this is what we're talking about. You think Ted Cruz is going to represent the people? No, he's going to represent those 4 guys. They make up an overwhelming majority of the money that he receives that keeps him in this race. That's what's going to allow him to set up campaign headquarters, run attack ads against his opponents. That's what puts him in the race. He serves them. He doesn't serve you. You think you're going to call Ted Cruz if he's president of the United States or send him an email or a letter and he's going to take you as seriously as he's going to take Toby Neugebauer? The minute Toby calls him, he's like, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. What do you need, sir? You think they're giving the $10 million or the $15 million out of the goodness of their heart for charity? These are businessmen. One's a hedge fund manager. The other guys got rich and brag about it. The Wilkes brothers made $3.5 billion out of their fracking business that they sold recently. You think that they don't look for a return on investment? How could anyone be that naive?